Hey my scrappy friends, welcome to the Clique Kids channel. I'm sharing the layout that I made when we did the collab with Tombow. This was in December. December was really crazy, and then in January we went on vacation. So this was one of the layouts that I didn't get finished uploading before we left. So I wanted to share this with you guys because this was really super fun. So I'm using the dual brushes, and that's one of the things that I got from Tombow. I also got some mono glue, and I got one of the little dot rollers, which was really fun, and I was able to take that with me when I went on vacation. I brought some stuff. I did not really get much scrapbooking done, but it was kind of nice because I could use it to adhere like ticket stubs and like different ephemera pieces that I got while I was on vacation in my little notebook. And that just kind of helped me keep that stuff contained. But anyway, back to the layout. So I used gesso on this white cardstock. It's smooth, and I use clear gesso so that you wouldn't see a difference between the white and the clear. And then I just took the brush tip, the one that you would use. Actually, I don't think I used the brush tip. I think I used the little fine tip, and I drew that block of color. So I'm just going to go through the colors, and I'm going to do blocks, and I do each block separate instead of drawing them all and then going back in, because I wasn't sure if it dried, if it would create this watercolor look that I wanted, and I wanted it to look like it was dripping. So that's why I'm letting the water kind of fall down. Now, because these colors are pretty close together, and every time you add water, if you're not careful, it leaks into one of the other ones and it activates it. And then it also sometimes you'd get that color blending of the two different colors, and I didn't mind it too much, but I know the purple really went into the blue, and that was kind of irritating. So in the end, I'm going to go back in and try to fix it a little bit more so it wasn't so noticeable. Now, one of the things that I wish I would have did was made each of my blocks maybe a little bit wider so that they all were the same. And maybe if I used a ruler or something, but I didn't. I just eyed it, and that's okay because it doesn't need to look perfect. But you know, if you're someone who wants to try this and you like perfect, I would put in just a little teeny tiny dot or something for each side, and then you kind of have an idea of how large you want that width to be. But once I added water to my paintbrush, these blended really, really well. With the gesso, it really worked awesome. And yeah, I am very happy with the way that this turned out. The look was so much fun. So, and you guys probably remember, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably remember seeing this on my feed because I did share it. So it was really fun. It was very cool of them to give us all some cool stuff to try out and stuff. And these are something I probably would have never bought on my own. So it was really fun to try to use these for scrapbooking instead of like hand lettering. But these would be awesome for like doing some really fun hand lettering and stuff, maybe on some cards and stuff, or to stamp on a card and then color them in. They're so vibrant. I know it's probably kind of hard to tell only because that white is so bright, but if you look at like my mat compared to to the colors, they are very vibrant. So I'm almost done. I just have 2 more colors, and I did not unfortunately go in order in how they were in the package, and I wish I did that too, because really it's not a true rainbow, but that's okay. I mean, I just wanted to have the colors, and it worked out fine because my thought was to do this and then to have my photo closer to the top, and then towards the bottom have embellishments in each of the sections for the different colors. So I'm color matching, and I've done something similar, and I did a layout, gosh, when I was in Hawaii with only 3 colors. So any of you guys who follow me and have followed me for a very long time, you might remember this. Maybe what I should do is go back and post that photo again on my Instagram feed just for fun. But I did a picture, the kids were doing sand angels, basically doing snow angels in the sand, because that's what you do when you live in Hawaii, right? And it's winter, and it's it's warm, cold, I don't know. And you're having fun at the beach, you know, so so I took the water and I had it dripping down the layout, or, you know, like watercolors, and then I put stuff on it. So this is me going back and fixing that blue a little bit. It helped a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect because, and I made it a little bit bigger too, so that it didn't look so weird. But so now what you're seeing me do, I'm taking some acrylic matte medium. So this is matte. It's going to dry not really shiny. Well, it's a little shiny, but it's not super shiny. And I'm putting this over top of this watercolor look. One, because I wanted to have more of a slicker look to it, if that makes sense. Even though it's still matte, you still can tell something's on it. But also, I didn't want it to get reactivated if something like water or something fell on it. So the only problem with doing this is, one, I didn't use foam, which might have helped. I didn't mind that there was those chunks in it. I say chunks. That's not really the word I want to use. That there's more it's globby, and you can see the texture of the brush that I used. And I don't mind that so much. The only thing is in those spots, the color lifted up a little bit. So now you can see it's all dry. I let this dry overnight. So I came back the next day, and if you look, you can see that there's some spots where the color kind of lifted up a little bit more from the paper. And so I wouldn't recommend doing that on here unless it's going to be a really quick, thin layer, and then it might not look so bad. I mean, I don't mind, like I said, the texture part of it, because that actually looks really cool. The other thing that you have to remember is anytime you use like matte medium or something, or texture paste on that kind of surface, it's going to be stickier, and not like sticky, but stuff adheres to it. So like if you got the front of your picture on there and your picture was semi-gloss or glossy, it's probably going to stick on there, and then you might have a hard time getting it off. Also, anything that you stick on, you're going to want to use more of a liquid glue or staples or something, because it's going to be harder for it to stay on there with just like ATG or something, because it doesn't like adhering. So I'm using just a couple pieces of pattern paper from the 6x6 pad to do my layers for right now. So it was hard because these colors in the pens aren't quite the colors that are in the paper, but they match enough. But I was really wanting more of the layers to not be multicolored so much, and just have like a little bit of that blast of color, but that wasn't really possible. So what you're seeing me do is I'm going to offset the white on this pattern that I used around the photo. So this is going to tie them together. But I also sometimes like to do this just because it's just kind of fun to have. It's a different way to do a border. So only 2 sides, and then you're seeing me, what I'm doing is I'm just using my scissors and cutting along the edge of the that, well, it's blue on the other side, but it's just one color. So now I'm going to put this back on here. I am going to use ATG, but I think I ended up having to go back later and put some wet glue underneath it. So I do use some of the small dot ATG, but I had a hard time having that stick with my embellishments. So that's just something to know. I did use a lot of the mono multi since we had it, and I love that. It's super strong. You just have to not let a lot get on your hands because it can get really sticky and you can smudge color really easily. So I love these Dear Lizzie stickers. I actually had bought some when that collection first came out and used almost all of them. So I was super happy to see these in here, and the hearts are perfect for adding over top because you can see, because they're transparent except for like the black parts, and then you can kind of see underneath it, and so it's really awesome. And they stuck really well to that matte medium because of the type of stickiness that it is. So I took some of these Pretty Little Studio tags. These are really fun, and I love that they're so colorful. The colors are really bright and vibrant, just like my background. So now, like I said, I'm just going through and I'm going to look for embellishments and pieces that have similar colors to what I'm using already on my background. I had a harder time than I thought I was going to, just because not all the colors matched entirely. So you kind of have to just know that you're going to get different shades. And because like some of these pinks are, there's a bright pink and then the softer pink and a violet purple and like a pinky purple. It almost looks pink. So you just kind of have to like figure out when you do this kind of thing. You just have to figure out. Sometimes this is nice when you use one entire line all together. Because, and a lot of people now like Vicky Booten are doing media and pieces that match together, and so that's really awesome. I mean, I know that we didn't have that in here, and so it just took a little bit more ingenuity to try to make it match, but because they added so many different companies with lots of bright colors, it really ended up working out really well. I mean, these Pink Fresh Studio, or not Pink Fresh Studio, Pretty Little Studio pieces really worked out really nicely because there were a lot of similar colors, and there were also some black pieces, so that helped too. And like you can see the label down at the bottom, and I'm looking up for something up at the top. I'm going to end up putting some like more yellowy orange pieces up at the top. So I'm going to get there eventually. This layout did take me a little bit longer just because I was trying to match everything. I think maybe if I was going to do this again, I would get colors together and put them in piles together. I don't store my pieces this way. So if you're someone who likes to store your pieces by color, this would be perfect because your stuff is already stored together. I don't do that, and I don't do that with my kits either. I just keep everything all together, and you know, if I'm looking for one specific color, I'll just pull it out. I'll find some pieces. So it did take me a little bit longer just because I was really trying to get a variety of colors. Like there's some of the colors, there was a lot of pinks, and there was that green, and there was a few different pieces that were of the certain colors, but then some of the other colors there weren't a lot of, like the yellow. I didn't think there was a lot of yellow pieces. So, and trying to get them so they were all in different places, that also was a little fun and interesting. But this is what's the fun thing about being creative and doing these kinds of things, is that you just take your time. I mean, not everybody creates a layout in 30 minutes. sometimes you can, and sometimes you take your time in and you enjoy the process, because I mean, like many of us in this industry, we all, you know, we started doing it and we do it because we love it, and we do it because we love to create and we love to preserve our memories. So, you know, my little nugget of scrappiness today is enjoy the process. No matter how long it takes you. Just enjoy it, enjoy what you're doing, and don't worry about how long or short, or, you know, don't worry about your style, just do your style. So now you can see me picking a couple of the bigger pieces, and some of those, like I said, had more than one color. And so it was just trying to pick where I thought the colors made a little bit of sense. And then I have some of these hearts and stars and stuff, so I'm going to use some of those too. I think I just use the hearts though. They're very fun. Like I said, there was a lot of certain colors, so I just, you know, some of the colors there weren't as much of stuff, but, you know, I did try to find what I could. So, yeah. So you're just watching me play. I feel like I could have put this a little bit faster because it is taking me a while. I'm moving things around, and this is why I didn't glue things down right away, just because I didn't know exactly where I wanted them, and I think I moved a couple of things like right before. There's a couple other things that I know I moved around, so I was just trying to have it kind of make sense. I mean, this really is just a fun layout, and it didn't all have to be in the same direction, so that was nice. So here now I'm finally adding my title, and this font is so much fun. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And I think the thing that I loved about this font is that there's a lot of different colors, and so the yellow wasn't quite the same yellow, but it really worked out so well because I was able to do colors that were really similar to each other, and so I was even able to make the title that rainbow look, and so that just really like made it right. So one of the things, there's just the background all together, but one of the things you're going to notice in my pictures is that I ended up doing my journaling on that one little tag. It was like a rate it tag, and so I put down the name of the restaurant because this is a view from a restaurant that we like, and it's kind of hard to see in the photo, but you can see Mount Rainier in there, and it's really, really fun and cool. So I will see you guys later. Don't forget to check out the store. I know the add-ons are going to be coming out soon, and for the February kit for Moonlight Sonata, and, you know, be sure to check out the mixed media stuff because there's tons of it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.